All right, well, welcome everyone to the webinar. Thank you so much for being here and the poll. Thank you so much for being here with us today. So today what we're going to talk about, we're going to give a little bit of a platform run through of Propel. The title of it is The New Way to Do PR for Free. So if you haven't heard, we have released our free version of Propel. It's something that you can go in and you can use for free today. So there's no cost to it, and it's really has the same features and everything else as the platform. So the idea here is to really go through, give you a real deep dive into Propel, how to use it, the ins and outs, and what the benefit and value is to you. So just by way of introduction, my name's Aaron Friedman. I'm the VP of Marketing here at Propel. And with me today, I have Julia Francis, our incredible product manager, who is going to give a full demo run through of Propel and show you all of the amazing features that we have to offer.
Yes, hi everyone, happy to be here.
So just quick, agenda just to go through what we're going to go through today. We're going to do, like I just did, the introduction and a little bit of a background of Propel. We're going to talk about the different PR pain points, the full platform walkthrough, and then we're going to leave the rest of the time available for Q&A. And the whole webinar, the whole thing should be about 30 to 45 minutes. So if you do have any questions, send them over. We can also go a little bit longer or shorter, but it is going to be about 30 to 45 minutes. So with that, I'll jump in and I'll just start off with a little bit about Propel. Propel was founded in 2019 and launched as a CRM for PR, or what we call a PRM. And since then, we've rolled out many additional features to the core parts of our platform, including the only native Gmail and Outlook email pitch plugins, business outcomes from PR, so you can measure the ROI of your PR campaigns, as well as pitching preferences and AI-powered recommendations, so you can understand the top days of the week and times journalists like to be pitched. And the big pain points that inspired Propel actually stem from, this type of spreadsheet that you see right here. And with that, I'm actually going to share another poll, which is I've titled the Spreadsheet Conundrum. So does this look familiar to anybody? Has anyone seen anything like this before? What we really get with this kind of workflow is just a lot of confusion and a lot of styles that are misaligned. You see over here the big red line, which one could guess not to contact that person. Maybe it means that it wasn't a good time for them to pitch, and maybe we want to reach out to them again. Green could mean that they accepted the embargo. It could also mean that we just reached the person and they want to publish something. Yellow, there's red here, there's red here. The yellow could be also, maybe to contact them at a later time. Maybe
There's
it means that they were
strikeouts too. Everyone's on a different page here.
Everyone's on a different page, and this would theoretically be a shared document across agencies. In fact, this is a real document from Zach's agency when he ran his own agency. So with a system like this, it's just near impossible to do things like to be GDPR compliant, manage relationships efficiently. There's just no good way to know what all people across different offices and teams are actually pitching. And not only on spreadsheets, we also have this overwhelming suite of tools across organizations. So, the problem with all of these tools is things are really disorganized. Subscription costs are really high. And worst of all, you really can't optimize relationships with journalists and coverage of your campaigns. We felt these problems, and that's why we created PRM, to bring everything into one place and make a home for all of your PR activities. In Propel, we have PRM, we have media monitor, we have media contact database of 1 million or over 1 million journalists, 50 million Twitter influencers, 3 billion articles, and a full media monitoring suite. And combining all of these together, we're able to pull insights from pitching history and present them in the media database. Take the articles you get coverage on and apply insights on them and we're able to apply insights on them in the media monitoring. So now what you have is this whole new layer of data, and you can understand how your campaigns have performed, which accounts are going well. You can understand the reasons why. Are you reaching the right people? Is it higher quality or or a higher quantity of pitching, which team members are performing well. You can do so much different analysis and really understand the performance of what you're doing. Customers tell us all the time that this saves them hours every week on pitching, reporting, and just gleaning insights into their business. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go into the 4 main areas of Propel. So the 4 main areas are: there's discover, pitch, monitor, and analyze. So what discover is, this is really our media database. This is where you can get the list of journalists and all of their contact information. Pitching, this is our PRM. This is the integrations with Gmail and with Outlook. This is where you can actually start doing the work, start pitching. And monitoring, which is our monitoring suite, and has online, social, and broadcast. And of course, there's analyze, which is part of the PRM, where you can measure business outcomes, ROI, and the productivity of each account. So with that, I want to pass it over to Julia, who's going to do a deep dive into the platform. And of course, if you do have any questions along the way, please leave them in the chat or leave them in the Q&A. And we'll make sure that we get to them at the end when we go over everything. So I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to let Julia take over.
Sounds good. Thank you. Let me share my screen. Yes, you guys are going to actually be able to see right here, discover, pitch, monitor, and analyze. So based on everything that Aaron just said, we're going to dive deeper into each one of those, show you how it works, and basically just give you a quick little Propel demo. If anyone has questions, like Aaron said, drop them in the chat, but I'd also like to make this kind of interactive so we can answer questions throughout. Aaron, if I'm missing anything, feel free to jump in. Sure. So I guess we'll just get started. I will start over in Discover. Here is where our media database lives. We have over 1 million journalists, and I saw in the chat there was a question. We do include Canadian contacts. It's a global media database. And you can see there are 4 different ways of finding contacts and finding people to pitch and add to your media list. I'm going to go into the journalist search to start. Really easy, straightforward. Over here on the left, we have our search filters, and then over here on the right are the actual journalists. And so here you can see there are many different ways to filter through the journalist search. We have over 300 categories. You can filter by outlet prominence. This is based on domain authority. So Forbes, if you're looking for really, really great coverage, you're going to go into high. That might be a little more difficult. And then if you're looking for more local outlets, maybe lower domain authority, you can filter by that too. And then by location, media type, topic. So this actually integrates directly with our article search, which you can find in the second tab. And so this is really, really helpful for those niche topics. Let's say we don't have a category for something, or you are looking for journalists that maybe write about a specific event or a specific new thing that came out or a product. You can look for specific keywords here. And then Propel is going to scan all of the articles within our database and then pull in all of the authors that have written articles with that keyword in the headline. So that's really, really helpful to find those niche contacts, like I said. And then over here on the right, let's say you wanted to build a media list. You're just going to check this little box, click add to media list. Here are the names of your different accounts. So if you're an agency, generally each one of these accounts will represent a different client. And if you're in-house, it's kind of up to you. You can do it by product, brand, maybe team, however works best for you. And then if you hover, here are the media lists associated with each of those accounts. So you can keep everything really organized. And check out the chat really quick. The journalist contact information is updated on a rolling basis. You can see right here, every time any of our users report inaccurate data, it's automatically flagged for review. If an email bounces, they're automatically flagged. And then we're just constantly looking for updated information because everyone knows, especially in COVID times, how often journalists are bouncing around. So if we click into a journalist contact profile, this is kind of the main function of the PRM. This is really kind of where the money is. Here you can see for this specific journalist, their pitching preferences. So this data is pulled across all global Propel users. You can see how many pitches they've been sent, their open rate, response rate, even topics most likely to get a response. And so these actually aren't, it's not like John said, these are the topics I want to be pitched on. This is actually based on AI, natural language processing. So we get this real hard-coded data. And then over here on the right, it's basically everything you need to know about your firm's relationship with this journalist. Top relationships, if he's actually had coverage for you, Twitter activity, recent articles, media lists, your relationship with John. Sound good? And then heading back into the journalist search, I think that about covers it here. Also from this page, right from the search, you're able to see if your firm has pitched him before, and then also your pitching engagement scores. So just a really quick snapshot of how many emails your firm has sent, how many he's opened, responded, published. This just kind of saves you so much time rather than having to go into all of your spreadsheets, see how many times people have pitched him, maybe yelling across the office. However you manage relationships, this puts it all in one place.
Yeah, and by the way, we deal with that even internally when we're doing our own pitching. We use Propel for our own pitching, of course, and we come up this comes up quite often where multiple people are trying to pitch different stories, and it's easy to really identify, if someone's been pitched already recently, so we don't just inundate them with pitches with more and more emails. And on top of that, even if for us, even we're in different parts of the world. People have different offices and different places. So, if it's all coming from the same agency, it may look strange or annoying for a journalist. This is a great way to really stop that before it becomes a problem.
Yeah, definitely. So moving into the article search, I already talked about this a little bit, but I just wanted to show you what it looks like. Within the actual article search, you can see the headlines and then Facebook shares, Twitter, total shares. And then the author right from here. So it works the same way. Just check this little box and add them to a media list, just like that. And you can also refine your search a bit more than just keywords. You can add in several keywords, subtract them. It's like a mini Boolean query. Okay, I think that about covers it for the media database. The outlets and the Twitter influencer search works exactly the same way. For Twitter, the keywords will scan Twitter bios, and that's how they pull them in. But yeah, pretty good. Let's see if there's any questions here. Our email is available on the free version of Propel. So contact information is not available on the free version. You won't get emails or phone numbers. You get 40 database searches per month. So you'll be able to see, kind of find journalists, and then you will have to find their contact information otherwise. You can, although, email through our Gmail and Outlook plugins for free, unlimited. So if you have your own lists, you can import them into the free version of Propel, pitch them as many times as you would like, and kind of track your relationships in the story funnel. Yes, you can do a little bit of the taste, but no emails or phone numbers. So moving along to pitch, here are the lists that you created over in the database, or you can create a new one right from here by clicking on this plus button. And here you can see the name of the pitching list, and then underneath the name of the account or the client. And then down here, you can just see all of the contacts. We have a little list view, card view. You can import contacts from CSV, export. Again, so your pitching engagement, pitch them right from here. Tags, owners, notes. This is just where you can manage all of those lists kind of much more organized and in one specific place. And then heading actually into Gmail. So as we've mentioned before, we have a Gmail and an Outlook plugin. Just takes a minute or two to download. And then when you go to pitch, right from your native email, you're able to select the name of the pitch or the name of the campaign. and then just kind of write it out as you would any normal email. You can see right here, we have tons of different variables. So first name, last name, publication, and then even templates. If there's a template that your agency or company likes to use, you can insert those here, make your pitch exactly as you would like. And then next, you would select the media list that you want to send it to. Again, this is a list that you created back in Propel or imported into Propel. Select a few. You can see this is also a nice little feature. If Carol responded to maybe one of my emails or one of my colleagues' emails and said, I don't want to be pitched by you guys ever again, you can head into her contact and then opt her out. That way, no one will even have the opportunity to pitch her on accident. Again, kind of adhering to the GDPR standards. And then also from this page, you'll be able to see when this person was last contacted, who they were contacted by, the status of that pitch. And then even, this is what Erin was just talking about, if you have either already pitched them for this campaign, or you're on the verge of double pitching them, meaning someone's pitched them in the last week, it'll show up in red, just like this, to give you kind of a heads up. Hey, I'm not so sure you want to pitch them right now. So we'll select a few. And then from here, there's a few different ways you can send it out. You can send a mail merge. It's just going to send it immediately, individually to everyone with the correct variables. You can schedule a mail merge, or you can generate drafts. So this is also a really, really helpful feature. One of those that our customers say saves them lots and lots of time each week. So this is going to separate that email into individual drafts and send them into your drafts folder. That way you can go in, you can see all of your different drafts and just personalize them. So, hi, Sarah, loved your recent article on blah, blah, blah. Love seeing you at that PRSA event, whatever you want to say, and then just send it individually. But it saves you the time of copying and pasting the actual bulk of the pitch and maybe their email address. And you guys probably know better than I do. Okay. Oh, we have a few going on in the chat. Oh, Erin is handling those. Okay. So then heading back into, actually, let me show you one more thing in Gmail. Once you've actually sent out those emails, you'll be able to see in your sent folder, if you go into the email, how many times this email's been opened, the date and the time of the last open. And also you can see any notes you've added, contact stats, set up a follow-up notification, and then even update the status of that pitch right from within your own Gmail. So let's say you've corresponded back and forth with this journalist a few times. Right from here, you can actually update the status, input that link. Let's say you had a piece of coverage, and then once you click submit, all of these stats, excuse me, UMV, Moz score, everything about this piece of coverage is going to immediately go into your reports. Okay. And then moving right along into the monitor tab, this first section is the story funnel. And this is also a very PRM focused feature. This allows you to get kind of a bird's eye view of where you're at in any given campaign. So right from here, you can see how many pitches are still unopened, how many are opened, responded. These three statuses are going to update automatically, both here and in Gmail or Outlook. And then these last four, it's kind of up to you and your team to update them. So if you have an interview secured, you can just drag that pitch over, update it. And now everybody in your team understands that you have an interview scheduled with this person. And then you could also just drag it over into article published. And then moving into media monitoring. So this is kind of a separate feature. It's less the PRM and just kind of its own media monitoring service. So as Erin mentioned before, we have online, social, and broadcast. Social covering Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and broadcast is TV and radio. But here you're able to create as many alerts as you would like on the left. Set up your Boolean query search and your keywords. That'll look a little something like this. And we can always help you create those because they can get a little bit tricky sometimes. But once you set up your alerts and your queries, it's going to start pulling in mentions over here on the right. And so right from here, you can see the UMV and Moz scores. You can compare different alerts, maybe competitors or industry trends. And right from here, you're able to see volume by tier, which is based on unique monthly visitors, volume over time. Here, let's zoom in a little bit, maybe do the last 90 days. Volume by online source, sentiment, just a whole bunch of different graphs and data points to help you better understand and track these mentions. Perfect. And then you can also, there's a few more things having to do with monitoring, but that's kind of the bulk of it. You can set up monitoring report schedules, which would send you an email maybe every morning or every Monday with a little summary of all of the mentions that you got over the last day or week. And then here we have our media monitoring dashboard. And so this is just all those graphs that I was just talking about, but in one kind of pretty place. All of these graphs are interactive. You can actually click on them and see which mentions it's referring to, download them, share them. You can even share a live link with colleagues or clients or anyone without a Propel account, and then they'll have access to this page without needing a Propel login. Sound good? And then moving into the very last section, this is analyze. And so this is where all of those reports and stats and metrics go to live. This all is based on the actual PRM aspect as well. So you're pitching and your articles published. This very first section, business outcomes, this is actually a really, really cool feature. It integrates directly with Google Analytics. So if you have a client, you'd ask them to share read-only access to their Google Analytics if they'd like to. And then if you're in-house, you can just share your own Google Analytics. And so this is really powerful because you're able to see, let's say you had an article published in PR News and it had a backlink back to your website. You can actually see how many people clicked on that backlink. And then even a step further, how many people completed a goal from that original article. So depending on what your goals are, maybe a free trial subscription, product spot, newsletter signups, whatever your goals are, you can actually track the ROI that resulted from this coverage. And so this was one of those key pain points that Zach was trying to solve when he created Propel was, how do I actually track the impact of my PR rather than just those kind of vanity metrics. And so that's kind of half of the story, the direct attribution. These two graphs are based solely on backlinks. And then at the bottom, we have general correlation. And so this is just kind of overlaying when you're having coverage with the website traffic or with those goal completions. So you can say to your client, there was a major spike in website traffic on the day I had an article published in Forbes. You know, you can kind of do cause and effect there. And then the same thing with the goal completions. And then same thing here, you're able to share a live link with your clients as well.
And this is something that's really cool and I think really innovative also because I know of a number of our of our customers that have said that this has effectively changed the way that they do reporting across their agency to clients because it's just so readily available and it's just so easy to get the information and share it around. So it's something that a lot of people take full advantage of and make sure that they're using. Julia, a couple of the questions in the chat are, one of the questions right now is the impact part of the free version?
Sure. So I assume when you're referring to this page, business outcomes, these first two graphs are a part of the free version. The bottom two aren't. And you can also, there's limited exporting abilities and sharing abilities. Yes, okay. And then does your media contacts include bookers on morning shows? Yes, I believe so. If you want to send me a few examples, I can check, or just like email me. Type my email in here right now so everyone has it. And you can also find that out if you were to sign up for freemium and do 40 searches per month. So I'll finish off with just a couple more of these dashboards. I won't do all of them, but account summary. This is kind of the homepage, the first thing that you'll see right when you get into Propel. This is a really nice overview if you're juggling a lot of clients, or maybe if you're in-house juggling a lot of teams or products, because you're able to see how much effort you're putting into each one of those accounts, and then how much it's paying off, how much coverage you're getting. You can also see pitch and conversion rates, and then just a nice overview of all of the coverage that you've had. And these conversion rates are really nice too, because you can see exactly where you're dropping off. So if for one client you have a really great open rate, maybe you can check out the subject lines of the pitches that you're sending for that account. And then maybe if someone has a really great response rate, you can kind of compare and contrast amongst all of your accounts and see how to bring the overall average up. And then the very last one I'll show you is this coverage dashboard. This is just a really nice, if your client's like, hey, where are you at with coverage? Just send them this dashboard, share it with them or export it. Gives you a nice total, coverage by campaign, UMV, Moz rank, outlet tier, backlink, everything you need to know. And yeah, I think that about covers it. If you guys want to see anything else, any of these dashboards specifically, or want me to go over something again, just let me know in the chat. And also we're happy to do actually a real demo one-on-one with any of you if you'd like to do that too at another time. But yes.
Robin asked a question, noticing backlinks. I can understand backlinks from press releases, but from articles, so many publications will not put links in the articles. Has that changed? It's really case by case by the publication. Some publications will, some publications won't. Sometimes if they won't and you ask nicely, they will. So it really just depends on the publication. Some have a very strict policy on not doing that. But if they do, it does report on that and we're able to get that information. Cool. Julia, I can take over sharing if you want.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. So if anyone else has any other questions, feel free. We actually do, I believe, hold on, let me pull this up. I also just wanted to share with you. So like we said, we did introduce at the beginning of the wow, it was a month ago. We did launch Propel for free. So it's something that anyone can use at any time. And I'll type in the link in the chat over here as well. So you have it if you do want to sign up and give it a shot, give it a run. Like we've been, like we've said, it's free. There's you get full access to the platform to really experience it and try it out and make sure that you're comfortable with it. And you can use it just like Propel with some limitations, but you do get out of the box, it will be useful. And now we'll just leave it open for Q&A. So if anyone else here wants to ask any other questions, please feel free to just type them in and we'll just go one by one. And Ainsley asks, do you work with website providers if we contract that out?
What do you mean by that? Like maybe with media monitoring, are you talking about publications that maybe have paywalls or something else? Yes, media monitoring. So no, right now we don't have that developed, but it is something that we've definitely talked about. But for right now, no. You can always add in anything that's missed due to a paywall. But yeah, right now, no.
Well, thank you, Ainsley.
Thank you.
Robin's saying, would you need 2 separately branded accounts for 2 locations under the same company, different websites, logos? Oh,
So Robin, that's a good question. That's basically up to you. So accounts are the way that Propel is organized. As you kind of saw, all of your media lists and monitoring alerts and reports are associated or separated by account. But it's completely up to you. You make your accounts. If you want them to be all in one, you can do that. Or if you'd prefer to separate them out, it's just completely up to you from an organizational standpoint. How does your media database compare to other competitors, and who do you see as your main competitor? That's a juicy question.
it's a very good question.
Yes, Aaron, do you want to take that, or shall
Well,
I?
I'll start. Yeah, I'll just start off by maybe some of the competitors. So yeah, our biggest competitors are the other main PR technologies that you'd hear about in the market, like Cision, Meltwater, Muckrack. We, as far as our media database, I believe, Julia, correct me if our media database, I think, is stronger than, maybe Julia, do you know the answer to that one? I know that it's stronger than one. It's equal to all of them, but I believe it's stronger than a couple of them. I just don't know which ones. I don't want to say the wrong thing.
No, I know we had a report come out about a year and a half ago that actually compared all of ours. And we can share that, or I can find it. I can't find it right now, but with you, Lynn. But yes, we like to say that we're as good, if not better, and always working to improve.
And that's really, I think that's one of the main differentiators, is that we're really, what these companies have accomplished in 15 years. And again, my goal is not to trash them, but what these companies have accomplished in 15 years, we've done in about 2.5. And we're going to keep going. Like, we're not stopping. We're going to keep innovating, keep making changes, bringing new ideas to the industry. And that's really what our goal is. Our goal is all about democratizing PR, making it accessible for everyone, and bringing as much innovation to the industry as possible.
Just wrote down your email, Lynn. I'll send that to you.
Awesome.
Any other questions from anyone? Oh, you just had a demo yesterday with Nick.
Fantastic.
Oh, wonderful.
Nick is great. He is just so much fun I love joining his demos because he's just so much fun to be on them with. I hope you enjoyed it too, Robin.
Yeah, Nick's a character. Robin, I will.
Oh, no, sorry, Lynn said that. Sorry, Lynn, I hope you enjoyed it.
Robin, I'll share that with you too, though.
She did. Okay, great. Okay, great. Well, if there's no other questions, thank you all so much for your time. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or Julia. My email is aaron@propelmypr.com. We're here to help and go over anything you need, send you any information that you need, and answer all of your questions.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Take care, everyone. Thanks so much.
Have a good one.